Assalamu alaikum. I'm Laura Fawaz, and thank you for joining us on our weekly webcast. The worst winter storm in 2 decades has hit the eastern Mediterranean this week, bringing destruction and death to Syria and its neighboring countries, who are already dealing with the refugee crisis from the country's civil war. At least 17 people have died due to the storm in Lebanon, Jordan, Turkey, Israel, and the Palestinian territories. Schools in some areas have been shut for days. Refugee camps have been flooded and villages isolated due to the closed roads. Weather agencies in Israel and Lebanon both called it the worst storm in 20 years. Abu Uthman, a Syrian opposition activist in eastern Damascus in the suburbs, says, "Our conditions are getting worse and worse with this storm. Everyone is freezing. There is nothing to heat ourselves with. There is a growing food problem because all the rain and now snow. It has made the road conditions very dangerous," end quote. According to abcnews.com, the Israeli military shot dead a 17-year-old Palestinian boy near the West Bank separating barrier on Tuesday. The Israeli military said that the boy had breached the barrier that separates soldiers from the protesters. A classmate said a group of students threw rocks at the soldiers near the barrier, trenches, and fences that Israel has built along and inside of the West Bank. Mutaz Awad said soldiers opened fire, killing Samir Awad from the village of Boutros. After an 8-month battle, Jessica Reed and Majid Musa are still fighting to get back custody of their children after they were illegally taken from Child Protective Services, CPS, last May. During this battle, Reed says that the rights have been denied, citing that unsuitable housing for the children. All the while, Reed's sister and aunt have each been begging to take the kids in themselves. But instead, the children were placed in the foster care system because, quote, "it's all about the money," says Reed's attorney Allison Firmer, who also represented Marianne Gadboto in a separate high-profile custody case with CPS and DHS, the Department of Human Services in Wayne County, Michigan. For every family that takes in foster children, CPS gets a percentage of the money that the families receive. Though, according to Michigan law, family members must be looked to first for the children to be placed with before they can be put into the foster care system. After our story at the hearing 6 weeks ago, Oakland County Circuit Judge Honorable Lisa Gorsucha, who was then recently reassigned to the case, ordered CPS to schedule an interview with Reed's sister to see if she can provide proper housing for the children. But not only did CPS never show up at this interview, they also never called to reschedule. And when Reed's sister called the foster care worker, according to Reed, they said, quote, "Under no circumstances can Reed's sister have the 2 older children," end quote. Nor would they reschedule the visit without giving any reasonings as to why. After a follow-up hearing held last month, the baby twins were reunited with their parents, Reed and Musa, though the 2 older daughters, Sophia and Nadia, are still not allowed to have unsupervised visits with their parents, whom they begged to take them home after each visit. After the recent hearing last Tuesday, yet another delay has come up. It is a signed document from CPS officials showing that Reed and Musa did in fact attend the mandatory therapy meeting. However, the court said they cannot verify this because the paperwork is lost. While talking to Former about the ways in which DHS and CPS handle these cases, Former stated that in this line of work, nothing can be done last minute, and thought that this is how a simple mishap, like a lost piece of paper, turns into 2 young girls being told that they cannot go home with the parents as they have been begging to do so since the beginning. And added, quote, "Why are we last minute when you're holding children in custody? But you see where this is about the money. The more services you go through, the more money they get. I cannot think of anything dignified to say about CPS. It all only ends up making money for them. The twins have been given back and they are perfectly fine. Jessica and Majid deserve the kids," said Fulmer. The next court hearing is set for March 7th, and the Muslim Observer will continue to bring you updates on the family and the situation. According to AlJazeera.com, 2 explosions have struck Aleppo University in northern Syria, killing more than 80 people. The explosion set car ablaze and blew the walls off dormitory rooms. The UK-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights cited students and medical officials as saying 83 people were killed in the explosions near the university dorms. More than 150 people were injured, several of them in critical condition, the group said, without giving details about the cause of the explosion. Thank you very much, and assalamu alaikum.